Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are having a great Thursday. Today's Thursday, right? Yep, today's Thursday. Ha ha. Sorry, I'm about a minute late. My OBS or the software that I use has decided to ignore the fact that I have a camera turned on, so I had to fix that. It took me about a minute. Sorry. All right. Let's see here. Looking at the chat, looks like we got a handful of people in here. We'll wait for the room to fill up a little bit more. I'm not sure. I can't really tell how many people are here, but as usual, let's go down the lineup. Looks like maybe 10 people in here now. Talking about productions. First, I gotta make my chat bigger. I can't read it. Can't can't read it. It's not it won't let me make it bigger now. Great. Now it won't. Now it shrank down to nothing, and now it's so small I can't read it at all. This is hold on, let me fix this. This is stupid. This is absolutely redonkulous. All right, let's go. Pop out chat. There we go. Technology sucks sometimes. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we got this in the right place now. I think we're all set up. I think we're all set up. Okay, so as I was saying, Dog and Ball Productions, first already, number two. Ta-da! And Cindy, you are deterred. Mike, good evening. Mike. Wrong day. Harry, good to see you, Broseph. We got pastors in the house. Tuck, Light Raider, West Virginia Pappy, Prepared Irishman. Did you follow me over here from Sigma? That guy's pretty interesting. I literally stumbled onto his channel. It kind of just popped up in my feed. I was like, I'll watch this guy for a little while. But yeah, it's good stuff. Deanna, good to see you. Good to see you, lady. Good to see you. Okay, let's see here. As the thumbnail implies, there's nefarious stuff. There's nefarious stuff going on. I'm going to be drinking a little bit of chai tea out of my Marine Corps Honor, Courage, and Commitment mug I received from recruiting. They don't even make these things anymore. It's almost like all the mugs that I collected over my time in the military was basically they're all antiques now. Does that make me an antique? All right, now I know for a fact there's something wrong. That's the chat rate I'm looking at. There we go. There we go. That's better. I can see the numbers much better now. All right, let's see here. So, I guess we will just jump right into it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that video I premiered at 6, the testing my bug out bag, and basically it's like kind of like camping. What's up, JB? Good to see you, Broseph. I put the disclaimer out first thing. It's not a this is not a camping channel, and this is not a fieldcraft survival. This is a prepping channel. All right, let's see here. If we're gonna go ahead and push this button over here, God, please let it work. Oh, look, it works. Nice. All right, so the first thing on the agenda, and everything we're talking about tonight, there's no specific order, but I thought these were all things that were kind of pertinent because they link to each other in some way. So apparently, Meta's Nick Clegg admits excessive censorship and high error rates in content moderation. That's fancy talk for, if we scroll down here. No, I don't want to do that. Maybe later. Maybe later. Thank you. In his blog dedicated to 2024 global election, he touches on free expressions allowed on these social platforms to state that Meta's choice is to find a balance between free speech and keeping people safe. Why are they so worried about our frickin' safety? Why can't we just be adults? It's like the nanny state, the electronic nanny state. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Let's see here. Prepared Irishman. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. Billy King, good to see you, bro. Um, that was literally the longest video that I've ever made. It literally took me all day long. It took me until like almost 3 o'clock. I started working on it. I had all of the files that I needed just about an hour prior to this morning's live stream. I did the live stream, and then I immediately started working on it. So at 11 o'clock, so 11 to 3. That's how many man hours went into that video, not for for um, for developing, not or should I say editing. That wasn't even the time that I spent in the bush yesterday. Um, but anywho, so basically, it's the nanny state, Um, it's unclear how Meta keeps people safe, but free speech is a straightforward concept. And here's Clegg's offer. He's offering a mea culpa. If you don't know what this is, get smart, read it, look it up. Not only publicly accepting that there are high rates of error, sometimes he says gets in the way of free expressions. Bottom line is what these people did was they're now like, oh, it's not our fault. It's the machine. It's the Facebook algorithm, blah, blah, blah. We know that to be a flat out lie because when they tried to say that on Twitter and ended up firing thousands of moderators off of Twitter, yeah. You know where they all went? They all went over to what is it, the blue something, the blue thingy or something like that. All day, California, 420 all day. That's you probably got to take all the smoke alarms out of your house, don't you? Um, let's see here. Tuck says, we're worried about your safety. It helps warmongers into effect. Facebook has lighted up 30-day bans were normal for me. I got you, Harry. It's where the name came from. Got it. Got it. But yeah, I figured you guys get a little bit of a kick out of that. Um, and let's see here. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing that I got for you right here. This one was pretty interesting to you. Joe Biden chose to run. I'm not, you know what? I'm not even going to read. I'm just going to play it for you because it's basically exactly what I would read to you.
And come up with cases of people who did what Hunter was accused of doing and they weren't charged to the same extent. There are cases like that, but there are also cases that are comparable where people were charged. Joe Biden chose to run knowing that his son had done these things. Joe Biden lied in the debate
That's
about whether
interesting.
Hunter got money from
There
China.
we go.
Joe Biden lied about whether he went to meetings with Hunter's business associates. Joe Biden lied about his family receiving money. He chose to run knowing his son had an addiction problem and that this would put the spotlight on his past activities that he knew about and lied about whether he knew about them. So you want to talk about culpability and responsibility. You want to talk about loving your son. If my son were an addict and had done what Hunter did and Joe knew he did, I wouldn't run for president. So if he wants to say who's responsible for this, he can blame his own Justice Department. He can blame the independent counsel. He can blame the judges. He can blame Donald Trump. But he's responsible for his surviving son's plight right now by
Boom.
choosing to run for president.
And can I add to that? Jill Biden, who encouraged him to run, the senior staff around him that encouraged him to run for reelection, all knew this. And so for all the Biden family and everyone else to say, like, woe is us.
Yeah. He said in the debate, my son never got money from China. Okay. He was already a candidate, but he set this in motion. He made it impossible for it not to be investigated because his son did get money from China and he knew it.
But there are two fundamental problems with the whole Hunter issue. That the crimes that he has been found guilty of are two issues
Supposedly
near and
Irishman.
dear to Democrats:
Correct.
gun control and paying the rich paying their taxes.
Correct.
Hunter violated both of them, and they've been silent on both of them. Outside of Jared Polis, who just had an issue at least with the pardon, where are the rest of these Democrats coming out and saying we have fought for gun control, further background
You
checks?
guys know who that
This
is, right?
wrong.
That was Trump's
We
very
believe
first
that the
press
rich should pay
secretary.
their fair share in taxes. This is wrong. Like, it's, again, the card is gone. I will make sure that every Republican gets a little card that says reference Hunter Biden the next time you get asked about this.
Yeah. Let you guys get a little kick about that. The one thing that I got out of it, the best thing was whose fault it is. It's the father. It's the fault of. It's that easy. Was YouTube hates autocorrect. It's the fault of the father, If you raise your children, I mean, you can't control what's going to happen. You can't control outside influences. You can't control psychological effects, but you can know. And there's no way that Captain Blue Tie didn't know what his son was up to. There's no way. There's no way at all. and he did nothing about it. And his mother did nothing about it. And we saw his financial records yesterday. You know, what was it? $83,000 to go to rehab over a 4 year period. No, it was over 1 year. It was in what was it? 2014, I think. He went to rehab. $80,000. Yeah. Chuck says, if I'm called to testify for anything, I'm pleading the hunter. I plead the hunter. But it should work, right? It should definitely work. Okay, so this one's scary, all right, but it's also laughable. All right, it's also laughable. So this one's not a video. This is something that I found on X. I thought that you guys would definitely be getting a kick out of it. This comes from Gigabase Dad. It says they're lying to you. They want you weak. Don't let them. By the way, this is actually in the Daily Mail. Isn't that interesting? Now, this was from February, okay? But apparently it popped right back up, okay? High fructose corn syrup is just as healthy as honey, says social media's favorite doctor, dispelling common myth. Now, I wish I could have dug deeper and found out what is that? And found out who the actual doctor was. But coming male, it could have been European. Apparently, it's this chick right here. I don't recognize her. So it is what it is. Full of high fructose corn syrup. What do we got? Quaker's chewy granola. Those are delicious. Mott's applesauce. I can deal with it. A1 steak sauce. Yes, please. Smucker There's not enough good stuff. This is all super yummy stuff designed to addict you to the super yummy stuff. If you guys have not decided to get healthy, you probably need to do it as soon as possible. Because if something goes down, guys, if something happens, and I'm not saying it's going to, I'm just telling you, it should be at least both mental and physical health should be part of the preparedness lifestyle. It really should. If you're just collecting gear from Amazon and putting it on a shelf while you eat Cheetos and get like 500 pounds thick, you're going to have a bad day. You're going to be, if you guys remember Doomsday Preppers, hopefully you do. I mean, you got to have watched every episode by now, right? I think I have. And there was one where this guy was so big that he like had like his like an AR, right? On the front of his four-wheeler, and that's how he got around. That's all he did was just drive his four-wheeler around. He was so big. And it's like, and later on, you can like look these people up and say, what happened to? And then you find out their name and so on and so forth through the episode list, and you say, whatever happened to John Smith? Oh, John Smith, he was doing well now that he's had his triple bypass surgery after he had a giant heart attack. Now, God, I'm glad the guy's alive, don't get me wrong, but how did he get that way? you know so health, health, health. What's up, sheepdog? Haven't seen you in a while. Ron, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while here. Don't you know you can prove or disprove anything you want? Who is paying you? I only get paid by the government. It's once a month. It's called a retirement check. Oh, and you guys pay me. Who's paying you? Let's see here. Tuck says, I don't have gear or good health. I'm running on stubbornness and coffee. Well, that is a solid start, my friend. That is a solid start. Let's see here. The Looney Tune version of The Sopranos. Turn a blind eye and easier to look the other way and acknowledge uh, the gooberment. Gooberment. Dude, stop smoking the Maui Wowie. You need to get the Kush. It's a lot softer on you. All right, let's see here. What do we got here? Next one. So this one is floating around, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to happen. So what do we got here? Wall Street Journal says it's an exclusive. It's an exclusive. Only they have it. And Trump mulls replacing Pete Hegseth with Hedgeseth. There we go. With Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. President-elect is discussing replacing current Pentagon nominee who faces scrutiny over allegations about his personal life. Blah, blah, blah. President-elect Donald Trump is considering Florida Governor DeSantis as a possible replacement for Pete Hegseth, his pick to run the Pentagon, according to people familiar with the discussions, amid Republican senators' concern over mounting allegations from the former Fox News host's personal life. Guys, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you. Old Pete was on Capitol Hill today for the second day in a row, speaking directly to the senators who wanted to talk to him. And I think I also haven't really heard Captain Red Tie say any of the things in this article. We are in a massive disinformation campaign. I saw some stuff late earlier today that's absolutely mind-blowingly untrue. When I was watching Fox News this morning, yes, I watch Fox News because it's the others. Most of the other stuff is just unpalatable. Okay, unpalatable. I mean, you guys know I watch it, but I can only handle so much of the BS. The waiters, it's pretty bad when you have to walk into your living room with your waiters just so that you can walk out dry, that kind of thing. But I haven't heard anything from Trump's campaign saying that they're thinking about this. So I don't know where they're getting their information from. Also, the verbiage that was used this morning is that when it comes to Pete Hegseth, that they're not. Everybody's like they're just trying to Kavanaugh him, and it's like no, 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 no. They're trying. Was it Joey Johnson? He's a former Marine. Gotta love it. Um, he said no, they're not trying to Kavanaugh them. They're trying to Trump him. They make some stuff up. Somebody writes an article about it, and then they get somebody in the Senate to regurgitate it. You write one article, somebody picks it up, and then now the news becomes the official word of the day. That's the way the fourth estate used to work. The fourth estate is clearly dead. It's all just mumbo jumbo now. So let me go to the chat here. 420 says indica. I bet you have a card, don't you? Special card, or is it just legal where you go? Doomsday Preppers, they searched out some of the dumbest people ever in the movie. Yes, they did. And it's actually disappointing. And the reason is the very first episode of Doomsday Preppers was actually a very, very good, realistic set of they did two families. They always did two families, and they had realistic goals. They had actual plans. They were like one was like an urbanite, the other was out in the rural areas. It was really good. They didn't make these people look stupid at all. But after that, it was just hey, let's find the dumbest looking people and we can like, get people to watch us like this guy's a retard, and that's what Doomsday Preppers turned into. I can tell you, believe it or not, guys, did you guys know that they made a Doomsday Preppers UK? Did you guys know that? Very interesting. You can watch it on the YouTubes free of charge. It's a very interesting show. Lots of information to be gained, especially from people that don't have any firearms. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see here. And then obviously, no to DeSantis. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. DeSantis would be a good pick, but I don't think that he would. I think he's more of a moderate. He's not what the DoD needs right now. He's more of a moderate as things go for that particular position. Um, for he needs to stay the governor or become a senator. He needs to maintain this control so that somebody doesn't slip right in because there are people in Florida that are just waiting for him to disappear so they can start screaming bloody murder and get somebody with a blue tie back inside of into office. But like I said, he did great things for Florida. He continues to do great things for Florida. But I don't see him as the running the DoD. Let's see here. Trust no politicians, not even Trump. I don't know that. I don't know that. I mean, I think I trust the people that do things in front of you. You know, I trust people that believe that it's hard to do the right thing, but it's even harder to do the right thing when people aren't looking. Those are the kind of people that I trust, whether they're politicians or not. DeSantis is not good. He appointed a Florida sheriff after some large donation from St. Lucie CO. I'm not buying into any of that sheepdog. I mean, I know some of that stuff happened, but I'm not going to be like it. It's just it's that's a rabbit hole, and I'm not going down it. Cindy says LP isn't religious. I believe and put my trust in God, not politicians. There you go. There you go. Good on you. I appreciate that's something you can do. Let's see here. You grow your own chemical free. Nice. Cindy says he is far right on transparent. Wanted to take their kids, even people just visiting, or so I'm told by my friend who's some daughter in trans. Once again, that's a rabbit hole, and I'm not going down it. I'm not going down it. I think that if I think that let me put it to you this way, and then we're going to stop talking about this stuff. We can't trust our children to figure out what they want for lunch, what they want in their lunch. We can't trust our children to spend their lunch money on lunch. We can't trust our children to come home and do their homework. And somehow these parents are allowing their children to destroy their body. These kids can't make up their mind what color they like today, but their parents are allowing them to make life-altering decisions. There's a reason why you can't vote until you're 18. There's a reason why you can't drink until you're 21. And we were doing pretty good in the 80s until they changed that law, frickin' liberals. But it's ridiculous. And then the argument, then we get the foolish argument about, oh, well, you can go to war, but you can't drink a beer. Well, I hate to tell you this, but back in the real world, back in the real days, we could go to the base club and drink a beer. We just couldn't drink hard liquor, and I drank a lot of damn beer at 18 years old. Okay, so there's ways to fix these problems, and the parents don't know what they're doing when they allow their children to mutilate themselves, and a school allows children to transition somehow by wearing clothes when they get there, and they don't tell the parents. I think between the education system and these parents, they all need to be taken out and beaten within an inch of their life so they never forget what a huge mistake they're making. Okay, so let's see here. This child is in their 30s, not young. I don't know anything about that. Once again, Cindy, I love you, but I'm not going down that rabbit hole. All right, let's see here. We're going to move on right here. Something interesting happened. We're going to go block that. We need to block. I'm going to block that. There we go. Something interesting happened. Oh, by the way, Russia's top general speaks with U.S. counterpart, Ministry of Defense. Interesting. Conversations between Valery Gerasimov and Charles Q. Brown took place last week. Russia's chief of general staff, Valery Gerasimov, has held a phone call with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. The Defense Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Defense Ministry in Moscow has said General whatever Law last spoke with his American counterpart in March. The phone conversation between countries' top generals took place on November 27th. The minister said in a statement on Thursday when warned Brown about missile exercise in the Mediterranean seas. Quote, during the conversation, the U.S. side was informed about the exercise in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea by the Russian Navy and Aerospace Forces groups involving live-fire drills and launches of high-precision missiles, the statement read. The warning was made by I'm going to try and say it right, Gerasimov, Gerasimov, to prevent possible incidents in connection with the presence of U.S. and NATO ships near the area of the Russian exercise. So it's this is the one. This is the one where people were like, "Oh, they're just telling us that because their tinfoil hats are too tight." Well, we have not had a red phone between the Ministry of Defense, or the Defense Ministry as they call it, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff in some time. Uh, the fact that they can actually call each other and say, "Hey, Bob, we're doing some stuff. Are you out there? We don't want to blow you up." It's pretty good. It's a pretty good start to reestablishing proper relationships between not just countries but superpowers. Okay. All right, let's see here. We're gonna push this button right here because I like pushing buttons. I'm gonna read the chat. Don't go down. It's don't go down it. Let's see here. Chuck says I bought beer every Friday my entire 20th year, and the store finally carded me 3 days after my 21st birthday. I look on the guy's face was priceless. There you go. Born in the 60s, graduated in the 80s. Morals were different, so was parenting. Absolutely. Uh, Taking beer, I was legal 2 weeks from age 19, 3.2 beer, no grandfather clause, so they had to wait for 21. Yeah, exactly. When they did that, when they changed the age, all the people that turned 18 before they did that, they were all grandfathered in. So yeah, you got to keep drinking beer. It was pretty sweet. It was pretty sweet. You were an adult. You could do all sorts of stuff. Okay, let's see here. You're actually a real adult, not this arrested development adult stuff that we're seeing these days. Okay, so by the way, if you guys didn't know, I know some of you guys are into crypto. We're not going to cover a lot of this. This is current. Today Bitcoin hit $100,000 per coin. Unheard of. Last time I checked, it was like 40K. Well, apparently, the uh, the fact that Captain Blue Tie is on his way into office, the people in the crypto industries are just flipping upside down, doing backflips and side flips and forward flips and quarter flips, and they're just flipping all over the place. So happy because of what's happening with crypto and what's happening with Captain Red Tie. And yeah, it's pretty good. And oh, by the way, something also happened today. Loading chart. Ooh, what happened to gold today? Well, it was kind of doing stuff, and then that happened. Now, this chart is like whatever. This is really they make it look worse than it is. It's like $7. Okay. So don't freak out if people are like, gold's going down, buy, 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 because it's not really what it's doing. If you look at where it started at 2 a.m. this morning, yeah. Even then, it's not a huge bit. It's not a huge amount. So just letting you know that the markets are playing games just a little bit now that Captain Red Tie has taken over. Let's see here. Taking beer. My brother beat the age increase by 1 year for everything. That's pretty sweet. Um, Cindy says, I don't have Bitcoin, just want XRP to explode. XRP is backed by gold. Nice. Nice. Okay. Guys, it looks like we are in that part of the chat or in that part of the live stream where if you love your country, put a number one in the chat. Erica, gonna drink me some chai tea. I'm gonna talk some smack, gonna read you some cool stuff, and we're going to do great things together. Glug, glug, glug. And while you guys are doing that, we got to pay some bills. I'm going to go with Jace Medical today. Look, I'm on the screen. Guys, listen, I got another email from Jace. They make stuff for the ladies. You know what I'm talking about. Special little kits that take care of special little problems. I'm just going to leave it right there. But what I will also tell you is that you can save 10% if you use my code, LOCALPREPPER10. I really wish they'd change that to just Local Prepper, but apparently that's the way they do things. 10% off those special kits. And if you need antibiotics, if you need some ivermectin, or maybe you just want to get a stockpile of those drugs that keep you alive every day, you might want to check them out. Link is in the description. All righty, let's see here. You like that? Was that smooth enough for you? Was that smooth jazz? All right, so I think you're going to enjoy this right here. So apparently some people on the View were like did something really stupid. I mean, this is a daily event for these people, but it's almost like they took the dumbest people on the planet and gave them a TV show. So let's take a look at this right here. This one comes out from Ana Navarro Cardenas. Da, 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 da. Double last name. Never trust a woman who's got a double last name. Yes. So hey, Twitter sleuths. I hate when they say Twitter. When it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. They do it to be smartasses. Thanks for taking the time to provide context. Take it up with ChatGTP. Well, apparently what happened, and I'm gonna tell you about this, but apparently what happened, and I'm not sure, I don't have that article. Damn it. So basically, The View used Chat GTP to talk about people who have been pardoned. And yeah, so apparently, if you read this out, have any U.S. presidents pardoned relatives or in laws? Yes. Some U.S. presidents have pardoned relatives or in-laws. Here are key examples. Bill Clinton, he pardoned his brother, Roger Clinton. Donald Trump, he pardoned Charles Kushner. Woodrow Wilson pardoned Hunter D. Butts. And look how it's spelled, too. D. Butts. His brother-in-law, after he was court-martialed during World War I for military misconduct. The pardon was believed to protect the family's reputation. Guys, this was read live on The View today. Oh my God, the level of ignorance that these people have, that they would just, I'm just going to print some stuff out. I'm going to go on national TV because my voice is so important. That's what happened today. Today in your world, this is the level of stupidity that we're dealing with. And and it's funny too because these people changing my screen name to Hunter DeButts. You do that, Tuck. You do that, man, and I won't know who the hell you are. So don't do that. Anyway, and it's like they believe that they're so high on they live on a Tiffany platform that they could never fall from. So anything that they say their followers just know it must be true. Well, somebody checked them, and now tomorrow they'll probably be doing some. Actually, I think during their live show today, they actually were like, "What? Huh? What are you talking about? That's not right." Yeah, whoever did that, they got basically smoke checked live on TV. All right, let's see here. We're going to jump on over to another subject right here. Since you guys aren't talking about much, we're going to roll right on. You know the rules. You know the rules. I got enough stuff to talk for an hour or talk for about 45 minutes, and I gotta get about 15 minutes out of your asses. All right, let's go with this. So, this week there was an article that was written. I want to say The Economist wrote it, and they wrote it based off of another thing that like the Washington Times put out. And once again, it was just like somebody writes an article, and then somebody says that it's factual, and then it becomes something for somebody to complain about. Well, apparently, a VFW vet bashes The Economist for taking turkey-sized dump on a disabled vets. Patrick Murray of the Veterans of Foreign Wars has produced a rebuttal to a recent article calling for reducing veterans' disability benefits that only a combat veteran could write, and he absolutely destroys them. Amid the outcry over a recent article in The Economist that called, you know what, I can probably make that a little bit bigger for you guys. I know you like to I know you like to read along with me. Amid the outcry over a recent article in The Economist that called for a reduction in what is described as absurdly generous veteran benefits, one voice has stood out from the rest. And before we go any further, the whole purpose of that stupid ass article was to try to give Democrats something to talk about. Well, you need to reduce these veterans' benefits if you're really, if Doge, is really interested in saving money, saving the government money. That's where that was going. They were reaching out and trying to get these lefties that are in Congress to start running their sucks. It didn't work. They didn't take the bait. Patrick Murray, National Legislative Service Director for the Veterans of Foreign Wars office in Washington, D.C., has issued a rebuttal that reflects the frustrations of a generation of veterans who served in the global war on terror and now face growing efforts to balance the federal budget on the backs of wounded veterans. Not only did Murray, a Marine veteran who lost his right leg in Iraq, describe the piece as a, quote, turd Sunday, but he also wrote that The Economist had taken, quote, a turkey sized dump on the disabled veterans by running the story on Thanksgiving. Quote, the last paragraph of his loosely compiled puddle of garbage juice included the statement reducing payments to former soldiers will never be popular, but it will be wise. I don't think I need to go any further. It's absolutely insane. In fact, what I will do is I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys. I'm sure you'll actually want to read it at some point. Excuse me. Woo! All right, so let's go ahead and switch off to that right there. I'm going to check the chat. You in top coat again? I am. I am in top chat again. Top chat. Top coat. Freaking autofill. Stupid autofill. live. There we go. We is all set, man. We's all set. All right, let's see here. But thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. I hadn't even noticed. Let's see here. And it didn't even change on that screen. I think that screen just does live chat. So, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. We talked about the start of this process yesterday, and now it's getting rich. So Fannie, um, yeah, Fannie, full release ordered for Fulton DA, sat on RICO records. So she was ordered on Monday to do a full release of all records that they had. Well, apparently the Fulton County District Attorney, Fannie Willis, has been ordered by a local judge to release all communications between her office, Special Counsel Jack Smith's office, and the January 6th committee regarding her RICO case against President Donald Trump and his allies after she was found to have violated federal law by withholding them. Doesn't she look surprised? By the way, guys, if you didn't know this, her dress is on backwards. If you didn't watch that where she justified some months back, it's absolutely ridiculous. She's wearing her dress backwards. The court also hereby orders defendant to conduct a diligent search of her records, the responsive materials within 5 business days, or the entry of this order. Of this entry of this order within the same 5-day period, defendant is ordered to provide plaintiff with copies of all responsive records that are not legally exempt or exempt from disclosure. That was from Tuesday. That was from Tuesday. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's not good for her. This is not good. Oh, we can watch something. What's this say? All right, so it doesn't say anything. This is just her being uncomfortable. I remember watching this. She was just like completely uncomfortable, lashed out. She tried to tell the judge how to do his job, all sorts of stuff. Oh, this is not good. What's this? Oh, what's
I've been at Judicial Watch for 26 years. Judicial Watch has been around for 30 years. I'm not aware ever in Judicial Watch's history of filing hundreds of open records and FOIA lawsuits that a federal agency, a state agency, or a government official has never failed. I'm not aware of that ever happening, of a government official or agency ever not showing up in court. It just has never happened before. Now, they argue with us about whether they owe us documents. That's a different matter, and they litigate the issue. But to ignore the requirement that you show up and answer a lawsuit in court, it's never happened before. And it shows to me that Fannie Willis is really desperate to hide something. Incredible. She's in default.
Yep, she's in default, guys. If you didn't know this, if someone ever sues you, guys, do not pretend it's not happening. Hire a lawyer, go into debt, sue to save your ass. Because if not, then the judge has the authority to give a default judgment because you are in default. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter. They don't even have to present a case. So, yeah, stick up for yourself. All right, let's see here. I'm going to look at the chat here. Let's see here. No reducing veterans benefits in all caps. Nice, Cindy. The VA couldn't give referrals for scans at another facility here in South Dakota when my dad needed one, but told him to get the scan but not pay for it. Gotcha. Y'all see any UFOs? Not today. No UFOs where I am in South Dakota. I haven't, but I knew an entire party did backyard cooking. Okay. Deer in the headlights look. See plenty of actual deer in my headlights here. I bet you do. She should have pled the hunter. Exactly, Tuck. Exactly. You're a smart man. You're a smart man. All right, let's see here. So we were talking about Pete Hegseth a little bit earlier. This is something that I wanted you to see. So basically, the article is 100% bull. Hegseth hit piece debunked by over a dozen current and former Fox employees, and this is why I'm like, yeah, don't believe the hype, guys. Don't believe the hype. Pete is he's gonna go to confirmation. He's like I said, he's been on the Senate floor for the past 2 days, talking to senators individually, meeting with them, telling them his story. So an anonymously sourced, by the way, if you guys didn't know this, the hit piece was anonymously sourced. Uh, the anonymously sourced NBC News hit piece accused Trump DOD pick Pete Hegseth of being frequently inebriated at Fox News has been refuted by over a dozen current and former Fox News personalities and guests, including two co-hosts. According to two of these anonymous sources, yeah, I have sources, said that on more than a dozen occasions during Hegseth's time as co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend, which began in 2017, they smelled alcohol on him before he went on air. Roll your window down, son. Officer, I don't have to. What are you afraid of? I'll smell alcohol? No. I'm not rolling my window down. It's such a joke. This is sophomore-ish crap, man. They smelled alcohol on him before he went on air, adding these same two people, plus another, said that during his time there, he appeared on television after they'd heard him talk about being hungover as he was getting ready or on set. You can see the words. In response to the hit piece, Hegseth's co-host Will Kane, who NBC never reached out to, posted on X, "This is bull, 100% bull. Actually, it's horse." Adding to the subsequent post, "Your story is, you know what, at ABC News. Put my name on it. On the record, it will be your only one record source." Yeah, the whole thing is a joke, guys. The whole thing is a joke. This is once again a massive disinformation. Uh, they know that not only, I hate to say the deep state because that's really, if you guys don't believe the deep state exists, then hey, you don't. But I've seen how they make the sausage, dude. It exists. It's basically a giant good old boys network is what the deep state really is, trying to maintain power and position so that they can retire one day and get their thick paychecks for the rest of their lives. Then they can write their memoirs and maybe pop up on some news thing where they're what do they call it what do they call it when you work for like one of these news stations but you only come every so often to talk about a very specific subject? Put it in the chat. It's a joke. These people are a joke. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Moving along. Oh yeah, this is kind of important. So, I was on. Tuck was in there. I remember Tuck and I briefly chatted for a second, just haze. We were passing in the hallway, or we were on another preppers, a UK preppers live stream today, and the I asked in the chat if anybody had received any of those messages from Verizon saying, "Hey, we're not going to be doing this kind of service anymore, and we want you guys to, if you want to continue this kind of service, you need to go over to Google something." It's basically like go to Google Chat or something like that. Um, I think or Word app or something like that. And I was like, and you could reply to it like in the text itself. You know, you could like confirm or reply or cancel or reply. And I was like, I'm not touching that. So I was like, had been warned by, was it Kim, one of the members, and she had told me about it, and it happened to me yesterday. And then so I asked somebody in the UK, and somebody's like, yeah, I just got that message like an hour ago. So if you guys didn't know this, the Chinese are at it again. Not a joke. The Chinese are they're doing cyber attacks. This is one of the things that's on my threat board. It's actually pretty significant. So the FBI has actually changed. The FBI shifts stances, recommends encryption to keep phone chats private. What are we talking about? You guys remember when the FBI, the Department of Justice, said Well, we don't really need you don't really need to be able to do encrypted chat or encrypted text. There's just not a need for that. Nobody should be doing that. Well, apparently the Chinese decided to do something to us, and nobody's talking about it. No one is talking about it. I would expect it'll probably be like a Friday evening thing, like a Bad News Friday thing. But apparently, the Chinese hacked our telecoms. Yeah, it happened over the last 48 to 72 hours. And the Senate is very upset about it, but none of the news sources are talking about it right now because I think they don't have enough information. So in this article that I just perused over to, there's no accountability. Senators berate cybersecurity officials for response to disrupting and widespread Chinese hacks of U.S. telecoms. This is dated today, guys. Today. We're going to read a little bit of this for you. I got to push the right button to do it, though. Today, senators berated the Biden administration's cybersecurity officials for their weak response and lack of accountability following a massive Chinese government linked hack on U.S. and global telecommunication networks. This was reported by Politico. There's no accountability in anybody sitting up here. They have not told us why they didn't catch it, what they've done to prevent it. Senator Rick Scott from Florida said after a classified briefing Wednesday by the FBI, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Cybersecurity Infrastructure and Security Agency, also known as CISA, if you've ever heard of that, first announced in November the breach by what they're calling Salt Typhoon, a group operated by the Chinese Communist Party involved in the infiltration of dozens of telecommunications companies. The hackaphones belonging to officials including President Donald J. Trump and potential eavesdropping on the phone calls of large swaths of the United States populations. None of the at least 8 breached U.S. telecommunication providers have managed to oust the hackers from their networks. That means they're still in the networks. Deputy National Security Advisor, if somebody came to my office and said, hey, look, something bad happened, don't worry, I'm responsible for it, but I'm not going to be responsible for it, and I don't have any plan to fix it, what would you do? You'd fire them. It's actually it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary. So the Chinese, basically everything in China is the Chinese government. I don't care what label you put on it. Okay, you could say it's frickin' Hardee's in China and it's ran by the CCP. Okay, it's just that easy. You have to understand how their politics and their government works. So we got hacked big time at the end of November. It came to light this first week, and they had those people from the telecoms. They had everybody, the AT&Ts, the Verizons, everybody up there on Capitol Hill for a classified briefing to explain what the hell is going on. And all the telecom people were like, "Oh, yeah, it's not good. It's not good." All right, let's see here. Father was never able to use VA benefits. He's out of pocket. Would have been too great. Medicare and Teamsters benefit were better for him. There you go. Thankfully, Medicare did cover the scan and follow up. There you go. That's nuts. I listen to audiobooks on YouTube and keep getting Chinese speaking commercials. Yesterday and the day before, my feed was full of Chinese stuff. I'm like, what is this? I don't watch this crap because the feed is supposed to like the algorithm's supposed to like learn who you are and the things that you like and then put those in front of you, the things that you like. No, my feed was like full of Chinese stuff for the last 2 days, and then it kind of just like leveled off. The way to get rid of that, guys, is to go watch some weird video, like watch 2 or 3 videos in a specific genre that's absolutely stupid, and then it'll fix your feed, and then go start watching the stuff that you really like to watch, and then your feed will reset itself. Now you know that. As much as the Chinese hack us, makes me wonder how much we hack them. Harry, that is something to think about. It is something to think about. We used to have a Center for Cyber Dominance, is what it was called. I used to walk past the building every day. But the Biden administration felt, well, say Secretary of the Navy felt that it was too abrasive. It was too, I don't know, it's just too tough. It was too tough of a name. We had to change it to something else. I don't even remember what they changed it to, but it was just utterly ridiculous. It's like, what? You just spent all this money to take the sign off and change all your letterhead, and now you've got a new name, and everything you had to change. All of the Center for Cyber Dominance, whatever that was inside of the Department of Defense, had all completely be renamed. For what? For what? It's like renaming all the bases. By the way, it's still Fort Bragg. Suck it. Let's see here. That sounds like a taunt. They didn't care if their hack was discovered. Yeah, that's possible. That's a possibility. But I think that the fact that they can't get them out of the networks is more important to think about. All right, let's see here. We're going to where we got here. Some good news. I've got some. Wait a minute. I'm going to read this to you first. Let's see here. Oh, this was it. This was it. We No, I can't do that. I can't do that. But I can do this. I can do this. This article right here, give you guys a little bit of good news before we get out of here. This happened today. Mike Johnson blocks 24. No, actually, it happened last evening, but nobody's talking about it. It's kind of like bubbling up. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, blocked a $24 billion giveaway to the military aid in Ukraine. He says that it's not the place of Biden to make that decision. I know, right? Yay, good news. I try to end on good news, I really do. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson rejected passing an additional 24 billion in aid to Ukraine on Wednesday, explaining that he would instead wait for incoming President Captain Red Tie decision on the matter. The request came after the White House Officer of Management and Budget requested additional Ukrainian aid from Congress. He reportedly included 8 billion in weapons purchases and an extra 16 billion to repair and place U.S. military equipment that was damaged in the war. It's like you think we're getting it back? I mean, come on. As we predicted, and as I said to all of you weeks before the election, if Captain Red Tie is elected, it will change the dynamic of Russia war on Ukraine, and we're seeing that happen. Quote, so it's not the place of Joe Biden to make that decision now. We have a newly elected president, and we're going to wait and take the new commander in chief's direction on all that is. So I don't expect Ukraine funding to come up now. Yes. Good news. We got you some good news, guys. We got a big old smile on that guy. Yeah, stick it in him. I mean, stick it to him. I mean, no lube. That's what I say. Okay, guys. Let's see. I think we covered all the bases. I'm going to check the chat one more time. Um, let's see here. The Air Force has a Cyber Patriot program, which is good for them since they don't have to get out of their chairs. That's hilarious. Pappy says the biggest problem with this world PC talk, no real talk. Gotcha, bro. PC talk getting annoying. LP tells it straight, not watered down. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Cindy. Okay, so I have got to do a couple of things tonight. So I'm going to. I think we've burned enough money in Eurasia. Absolutely, totally, 100% true. It's ridiculous. You guys saw the map that I showed you yesterday. The automated map of Russian taking Ukrainian land. They're not giving it back. Like I said, they'll be lucky if they. I believe that they'll give them a port is what'll happen. I think that's what'll happen, but that's going to be it. Yeah, that's going to be it. As usual, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. It's free and it actually helps the channel. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and hit that bell. Everybody check your bells. YouTube's playing games as usual. Matter of fact, two people told me yesterday that they weren't notified. I told them to check their bells. They did. Their bells were unchecked. Not a joke. And 3, if you want to support the channel, there's ways of doing it. There's a link. Join the membership, and yeah, you can take part in all the funness that is part of the LP YouTube program. All right, guys, that's going to be about it. Stay safe. Have a great night. Hey, don't forget, guys, tomorrow I'm going to need your help because tomorrow is travel day. It's a travel day. So I'm going to hit that start button right around 9 a.m. and pray for no dead spots in the road and we're going to go from there. All right, guys, stay safe. Have a great night, and I shall see you when I see you. And oh, by the way, the national, not the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner is trademarked. I couldn't believe it when I got the hit. I researched it. It actually is. So I've changed it. You guys have a great night. It's 9 p.m. Do you know where your children are?